FIFA just blew up the World Cup. And depending on who you ask, it's either the greatest idea in football history or an absolute disaster waiting to happen. Here's the thing. For decades, the World Cup had 32 teams. Clean bracket, simple math, everyone understood it. Then FIFA looked at that and said, what if we made it bigger, messier, and somehow more confusing? 48 teams, a brand new format, and a group stage that breaks basically every rule football fans thought they knew. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how it works and why it might actually be genius, or at least interesting. So, what changed? 48 teams. That's the headline number. FIFA is expanding the tournament from 32 to 48 nations, which means 16 more countries get to show up. More flags, more anthems, more first-time World Cup moments for nations that have waited decades. That part, genuinely exciting. But here's where it starts getting weird, because 48 doesn't divide evenly into groups of 4. So FIFA had a decision to make, and the decision they made is a lot. The new group stage. Instead of 8 groups of 4, you now have 12 groups of 4. Simple enough, right? Except here's the catch. Only 2 games per team in the group stage instead of 3. Wait, 2 games? Yes, each group has 4 teams, but only 3 play each other, which means every team plays 2 matches in the group stage, not 3. And if you've watched football long enough, you know that 2 games is almost nothing. You can have a terrible first game, turn it around in the second, and suddenly you're in a knockout round. In theory, this rewards consistency. In practice, it rewards whoever gets the easier draw. But hey, that's always been true at the World Cup. Here's where it gets interesting. So, 12 groups, 4 teams each. Top 2 from every group advance automatically. That's 24 teams. But you need 32 teams for the round of 32. So FIFA needs 8 more spots. And those spots, they go to the best third-place teams from across all 12 groups. This is the part people lose their minds over. 8 out of 12 third-place teams advance, which means finishing third in your group might still be good enough to stay alive. Which means the group stage never really ends. Which means teams could be doing math in the final minutes, trying to figure out if a draw helps them or destroys them, based on results from groups they've never even heard of. Sound familiar? That's basically the old UEFA Nations League energy. Chaotic, dramatic, and somehow completely addictive. The knockout round. Once you get past the group stage, it cleans up. Round of 32, round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, final. 1 loss, and you're done. The classic knockout format takes over and everything makes sense again. Think of it like this. The group stage is a messy house party. The knockout rounds are when everyone sobers up and the real competition starts. Why did FIFA do this? Money. But also, and this is the part people forget to mention, inclusion. More teams means more countries with a real shot at the World Cup. In Africa alone, the number of spots goes from 5 to 9. In Asia, from 4.5 to 8.5. Nations that have never experienced a World Cup qualifying moment get to experience one, and that genuinely matters. The cynical read is that FIFA wants more broadcast markets, more sponsorship deals, more money. The generous read is that football is supposed to be the world sport, and maybe 32 teams was always a weird restriction on a planet with 211 FIFA member nations. Both reads are probably true. That's FIFA. But does it actually work? Here's the question nobody can fully answer yet, because a 48-team tournament with only 2 group stage games per team creates opportunities for some truly wild scenarios. Draws could be negotiated, strong teams could park the bus and coast on one big win, weak teams could get absolutely demolished across the board and still scrape through on third-place points. The margin for error is basically gone, and in a weird way, that makes every single game feel massive, which is either great television or a logistical nightmare. Probably both. So at the start of this, the question was, Does the 2026 World Cup format make any sense? Here's the honest answer. It's not simple. It's not clean. It doesn't fit on a napkin the way the old format did. But underneath all the chaos, the logic is there. More teams, more access, more football. The group stage rewards form, the third place wild card keeps everyone nervous, and the moment you hit the knockouts, you're watching the same tournament you've always loved. The one question that'll define everything: can a format this complicated actually produce a worthy champion, or does it just produce a lucky one? That debate starts July 19th in New York. If you want to actually understand every match of the 2026 World Cup as it happens, subscribe, because this is just the beginning.